equip spell. I think this is probably most like an aura enchantment, so you can play.
I guess it's pretty much everything's been referenced now. We know everything that's referenced in the intro. Rather. Now.
Welcome back.
Let's do more side quests. I could have sworn I've already gone there when I initially did this quest.
Come back here whenever you're tired.
That sage guy's a fucking goat. He's the one responsible for all of the maps in every Etrian Odyssey game, as far as I'm aware. Okay, this is gonna be a little annoying. Can add Queens back to life. Oh. Yes, I totally remembered about that. Also, they caught a fucking boss in the Azure Rainforest. There's supposed to be something else other than the fucking ants in the earlier floors of Azure Rainforest. A stupid fucking turtle. They made it a side quest instead.
This on either one of your own monsters or one of your opponent's monsters. Sometimes it may specify which one you have to do, but if it doesn't specify, it can be either or. So this is an equip spell. You can tell by the cross-shaped icon.
Equip spell. Okay. Snatch, steal. Take control of a monster on your opponent's side of the field that is equipped with this card. Increase your opponent's life points by 1,000 points during each of his or her standby phases. This is free? I can't believe I have to keep asking. This is free?
Does it say it's not?
God damn it. Oh my god. Okay. Can the monster attack the turn you snatch steal it?
Does it say it can?
God damn it. What is your game? What is this by? This card is good. This card is good. The 1,000 life points, whatever. If the you steal even an average statted monster, you offset that very well. It really doesn't matter. I don't think it matters at all. This card is just insane. God, why would you run something that destroyed your opponent's stuff when you can just take it and beat them
Exactly
with it? How common or easy is it to remove a spell card? An equipped spell card. Are there cards that make it easy to blow this up and get your thing back?
Yes.
Okay.
But then that kind of begs the question, just because a card has answers, does that necessarily mean it's bad?
Well, here's the thing. This card
Okay.
is better than I think it is. In Magic, just taking their thing and punching them with it, or punching their creature, their monster, with the thing you stole, is busted. That's already the best removal spell of all time, and it's free. It's even better in this, because your special summons require you to sacrifice stuff. So if you're, the opponent takes their turn 1, and they play one monster, and you take your turn 1, and you snatch steal that thing, and sack it and play a level 6 or level 7 or higher, right? You special summon something.
You're putting it together.
That's insane. That's insane.
Isn't this game great? Isn't this game fun?
It sounds infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Why even play? What if I just turn 1 out of the fear of the absolute? It's only 40 cards, and you're telling me you could have 3 of these? The first card is useless.
Now let me pitch this to you in a different way. Isn't this slightly more fun and interesting than turn 1 playing a land and passing?
You know, you're the type of person that just doesn't know know somebody. You just want to like get right
Welcome
to
to the Rooster Inn.
right to the business.
Sign in over here.
You
Come
don't say
back here
hello.
whenever
How
you're
are
tired.
you? You don't care
I'm
about.
offering a different perspective. Because to be fair, if we're rivaling our card games, people might not like that slow accumulation of resources before something actually happens. Where with our game, you can just go pedal to the metal, turn it up to 11, and do stuff like you just said on the first turn. And
These are people,
like if you're just
people don't understand the vibe of a warm coffee or a nice drink.
done.
They just want to chug their energy drink and go to work.
they're just the Zoomers,
They're
right?
the ones
It's like TikTok
They
mentality.
complain about the 5-second loading screen on a video game. All right.
I'm so sorry.
No, none of this is fine. Y'all are
anything else?
wild. Y'all gotta like
made
slow
a
down
wise
and enjoy
choice.
life.
Yeah.
You're just out there snatching, stealing. Oh my goodness.
I'm probably not gonna
There's
get
no
the
way
rest of his stuff if I
can't
don't use
imagine
his
this card
stuff.
as a 3 of staying legal in your game. Like maybe there's
But
I
I already have everything I need from
The
Rosa.
audience is
You
here
know.
for. Maybe this is just the vibe.
So who cares?
God, but I don't think so.
Guess I'm on the
Oh
job.
man, I really don't know on this one because everything says this is busted, and everything for me says no. I want none of this. But maybe it is something you get used to. In Magic, it's absolutely wild.
I was gonna say, is it broken if every single card is batshit crazy like you've seen so far?
It's from 1996. There is no way this card stayed legal as a 3 of in a 40-card deck for the entirety of this game. There is no way. This card is busted. I will die on the hill that it's good.
Huh.
Was it
It's you.
banned?
Right,
That is
right.
really tough. But I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say at some point
Just
this got
leave it there.
banned, right? Because it needs
Is
you need a
there
break
anything
from
else?
this at some point, right? Right?
Guess I'm on the
Right.
job.
Final answer. Oh, I'm gonna blow your mind with this
You
one.
keep saying
So,
that.
Hey there.
so this time I'm actually going to. I'm not messing with you. So Snatch Steal is a very interesting card for several reasons.
How goes the job?
As you said, it is
Hey,
completely
thanks.
busted and was probably something they never should have made. So you are correct. You are correct. This card is great and was banned at some point.
Okay,
Interestingly enough, but that's not the end of the story. That's not the end of the story. Interestingly enough, I believe it was in what was it? 2014, 2015, 2016,
Which
around
one are
that
you
time.
interested in?
Someone at Konami thought it would be a fun idea, a fun prank, to say, let's unban this. Let's put it to one copy. Let's see what happens. People were so pissed that this card existed, and this card literally stole many games. It got banned again, the very next ban list, because it was so funny to see how many people got pissed off that this card got reintroduced into the game. Now, fast forward another 8 to 10 years. Snatch Steal is once again limited to one, and this is the best part. Master Duel, which is our online
I'm counting
client,
on you.
it is at 3 copies in Master Duel right
Welcome
now.
to the Rooster Inn.
And it's
Sign in
fine.
over here.
Okay,
Come
it's
back
fine.
here
I don't know
whenever
much
you're
about
tired.
Master Duel, other than I think I saw like a Twitch stream or two when it first came out, and they were like, now an online like Magic Arena type thing for Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
Yes.
what percentage would you say of the Yu-Gi-Oh collection is on Master Duel in that format?
Most
Most
of
of
it.
it?
Like 90. There are only a few sets behind the actual
But it
game.
is considered a different format.
It gets in the weeds because our ban list, we're considered the TCG. The Asian territories are considered the OCG. We have 2 separate ban lists because, for many reasons, Asia gets sets before we do, so they have cards legal before we even have access to them. And also, they just have some cards that are legal, and some of those cards for us might not be, for instance, for one reason or another. They just get to Konami Japan and Konami America, work in different lanes. Now, Master Duel is sort of like a hybrid of the two, where it's its own format again, because the ban list for Master Duel is not the OCG ban list, nor is it the TCG.
I just realized I should go murder these guys.
So, I say it's its own format because it's still several sets behind the actual trading card game, and it has its own ban list, so people kind of consider it to be its own separate format. But to be fair, most of what's good in the TCG and the OCG is also good in Master Duel. You're just changing ratios on cards sometimes.
So this is legal on the online client as a 3 of.
At 3 copies. Yep.
How long has that been that way?
They They actually, I think, recently just moved it to 3.
Okay.
Maybe within the past couple months.
I actually find this completely acceptable. I do.
Why do I not believe that?
On Magic Arena, they created a format called Timeless, where everything is legal.
Interesting.
Yep,
Okay.
everything is legal. And there's a small restricted list of a few cards that you're allowed 1 copy instead of 4. The Timeless format, as Magic, it's not like... I think there'll be competitive tournaments with it at some point, but so far I don't believe there have been any competitive tournaments in Timeless. It's a format there to play your cards, and as a designer at Wizards told me, everything is busted, so somehow everything is fine.
That's the Yu-Gi-Oh philosophy if I've ever heard.
Yeah, there you go. So I believe it. I believe it. Timeless exists, so this can too. Why not?
I'm going to show you what is a quick play spell. So the quick play
Am I
spell
allowed to
is
teleport
denoted
to
by
use
the
floor
lightning
jumps? I'm
bolts.
gonna not, just
The
to be
quick play
safe.
spell sort of works probably most similarly to an instant in Magic. So similar to trap cards, quick play spells, if they're set face down for a turn, can be used during the opponent's turn as well. Quick play spells also can be activated from the hand, like an instant, in response to other things happening on the field, or just in the game in general. They can be played like normal spell cards at sorcery speed if you want them to, but they're typically used more reactively.
Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Oh, okay. I think I see how to read it. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Change that target to face-down defense position. I guess I have timing questions. The way I think of it in Magic is I'm in my first pre-combat main phase, and I'm like, I am going to combat, and somebody would play a spell like this, and now my creature that I plan to attack with cannot attack. Similar line of play to how it would go in Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's one application for this card, yes.
And everything's free.
You wanted it?
Alright. There are probably cards that have effects when they are turned face up. Are there cards that have effects when they're turned face down?
Not
No.
that I'm aware of.
Okay, well, just give it
That
time.
would
I'm
be
sure.
impossible.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they have design space. They have design space.
Alright. So, I don't feel like I have a good grasp on when you would want and when and why you'd want a monster to be in a defense position. I guess... okay. Can you do this? The opponent is attacking you, and you have an attack position monster. Can you target your attack position monster, turn it defense, and then... No, wait, no, because you don't choose how to block. That's a Magic thing.
Well, you are right. I mean, if your opponent targets your monster for an attack, and you activate Book of Moon to flip your own monster face down, that's perfectly fine.
To use its defense stats instead. You could also target the opponent's monster because their defense stats are lower and then attack it?
There may be some other cards I showed you previously that this card might be applicable against.
Maybe. Just gonna go read all the cards you already showed me real fast. I mean, yeah, some of those are much lower defense, I suppose. Like, you're committing a card to a situational
Forgot to
situation
mark
that
this, apparently.
I have a very hard time understanding how often the situation comes up. Like, that
What the
context
fuck?
is kind of missing for me. This feels
That's fine.
closer to a combat trick in Magic, and combat tricks in Magic aren't good in Eternal formats because you would rather just have a card that immediately destroyed the problem that you have than a card that requires you to have another card to possibly solve a problem. So unless I'm missing something, I'm gonna say that this card is not good. It's tricky, but it's not good.
Now let me throw something your way. Why don't you go ahead and read Jinzo one more time?
As long as this card remains face up on the field, trap cards cannot be. So you can turn off certain effects, ongoing effects, monsters have on the battlefield by turning them over. Is this a common line of text, as long as this card is face up?
So if a monster has a continuous effect that is applying to the field, it only applies while that monster is face up.
Still, it seems like...
You don't sound convinced.
No, I'm not. So, we come from a world where you can just steal your opponent's crap and then, use it to special summon something. Alright, that's so much better than coming up with a little tricky way to make it less effective for a minute. I can see a lot of applications for the card. I'm just saying, Eternal format Yu-Gi-Oh! I think a lot of things will follow a path of like, yeah, we used this to do a thing back in the day, but now there is no way we can play it because there's just so many cards that have been introduced that probably do solve the problem easier. If this is an incredibly unique card, it requires an incredibly unique partner to make the effect worth it, because you're still looking at a 2-card combo. And without seeing the incredibly OP partner, like I was saying, a card that when it's turned face down just wins the game or something ridiculous like that, I gotta say that this is just a trick card, and that it's not good.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
I tried to help you out so much. The one time I wasn't deceiving you. Book of Moon is actually an incredibly good card.
Yeah?
It has even seen play as recently as this past year, I want to say.
Okay.
Which is incredible considering how old and how simple this card is. People, even though in terms of card advantage, it is like a -1, this is maybe one of the most versatile quick play spell
The
cards.
things I didn't mark are new and they're
to
big
be fair,
for
you
this
don't fully
quest,
know the game in its
it
entirety,
seems.
and so there are going to be some things that you're missing in that sense. But I tried to give you a few things here in this list of cards to help indicate what could be useful. So, like, turning off, like, you got the basic ones. Like, in combat, it's a good combat trick to either, like, get over something that's bigger or to protect your own thing, potentially. If you have things that have flip effects, I haven't really showed you, but there's plenty of those, to possibly get that to reflip. So let's say you flip it up during your turn, get the effect, your opponent, like, attacks you on their turn. You can use the book to reset it, and then it reflips, so you get the effect again. There's cool repeatability stuff like that. There's also the Jinzo, where any sort of continuous effect that's active on the field will just be turned off, so now all of a sudden your trap cards are able to be played again. There's also the instance of ignition effects. I believe in Magic they're like sorcery speed effects. I haven't shown you any monsters with those types of effects. Opponent plays a monster, and you use Book of Moon before they have the opportunity to use that ignition effect. Then they can't use the effect because now that monster is flipped face down and they can't flip it face up until the next turn. So that's an application for it. Even with Snatch Steal, there's application with Book of Moon where you can snatch, you're gonna love this, you can snatch steal an opponent's monster, attack with it, let's say. Book of Moon to set it face down, the Snatch Steal falls off, but you get to keep the monster, so now it's permanently your monster. So, that's another fun thing you can do with that.
Okay.
There's also
Fun.
just applications for other types of summons, which we're not going to get into for this video, that Book of Moon is very effective at stopping. And so, yeah, it's actually a very strong card. It was never banned. I believe it was limited for a very long time, and then it was at 3 probably midway through the game's lifespan. It's been at 3 ever since. But even to this day, it's still a very flexible and versatile card that people still look to it.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like I still have a lot to process about the, I guess, transforming in this. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I think when you come back to this after a few videos and you're like, I get it now. I get it. Plus, it just looks cool.
Sure.
It's a cool looking
Sure, every video is a Book of Moon video. Got it.
Alright, the final spell is what's known as a field spell. So a field spell is similar to a continuous spell, where when you play it, it just stays active on the field. The difference is there's a dedicated zone in game mechanics-wise. There's a dedicated zone for a field spell to stay out on the field until it gets sent to the graveyard by some card effect. The field spell typically has reciprocal effects. It'll say like whether or not it does, but most field spells, I want to say, typically more often than not, can affect both players, which can be a benefit or a detriment depending on the card. Yeah, that's basically all you have to know about field spells.
Mausoleum of the Emperor. Both players can normal summon or set monsters without tributes by paying 1,000 life points times the number of monsters needed to tribute summon them. Both players can normal summon or set monsters without tributes by paying 1,000 life points times the number of monsters needed to tribute summon them. I'm having trouble with this.
So for context, we saw Jinzo earlier. If you have Mausoleum of the Emperor active, you can, instead of sacrificing a monster to summon the Jinzo, you can instead just pay 1,000 life points and just play the Jinzo out onto the field.
Okay, it's 1,000 life points per what you would have sacrificed, not for like level 6 isn't like 2,000.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Right. So now, if it was a level 7 or higher and needed 2 tributes, you'd have to pay 2,000 in order to summon that monster.
Yeah. Okay, both players can do it. This is free. Because everything is. I mean, and you get 8,000 life. I bet that this is the kind of card that can enable turn 1 kills! No, wait, you don't get an attack. But, is that mad? Maybe there's a way around that even. Like a way to deal damage a different way. Or maybe just get an overpowering board state that you win anyway. If your life goes too low, though, the opponent can just play something and attack you back, and then you just die. Because they can go face, right? Unless, of course, you have the right trap. I don't know. God, I'm getting in the weeds now. Like, okay, do this, and everything, you put this out. This is a way to cheat the cost of the more expensive monsters in the game. And you can build your deck around that effect. If you have 3 of these F40 card deck, I haven't asked you about a mulligan rule for Yu-Gi-Oh!
There's no mulligan.
Oh, you just get what you get.
If there was a mulligan in Yu-Gi-Oh! The game would be even more absurd. I'm just being honest. It would be insane.
Okay. I guess with no cost for anything, you don't have to worry about any hands that are unplayable.
I wouldn't say that. Oh. We're not going to get into that today.
Man, you could build a deck that is like this card and the more really expensive cards, but I haven't seen that many of the really expensive or what might just be the total stats bait of the game. You know what I mean?
Do you want me to show you the stats bait? I'll show you the stats bait.
Show me the stats bait, baby. Show me what Timmy looks at and is like, if I play this, I'm gonna demolish all of my friends. My friends are gonna die. Show me that.
I'm gonna show you the icon of Yu-Gi-Oh! Right here. This is the stats bait for you.
Alright. Oh, bring it to me. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Oh, yeah. I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh! I've heard this. I've heard this said in the world. Alright. Blue Eyes White Dragon is level 8. That's it. Okay, that's all like flavor text.
Yeah, I'm showing you the Timmy card. You want the Timmy card?
Attack is 3,000. I thought it would be like 8,000. Like they should be dead on the spot. This is the Timmy card?
It isn't that crazy, CGB. Come on, give us some credit. You have to work for these wins.
In MTG, we've got like 16 power creatures and stuff. Like, and life total is 20. Okay. This is 3,000 attack. I guess that's in that range, actually. No, it's not. 3,000 attack is gonna be like, it's not even half.
It's not even half.
It's like a 9/9. Maybe. It's less than that, like an 8, between an 8 and a 9/9. That's your Timmy? Oh, this card is very pedestrian. Come to MTG, we have real Timmy cards. Alright. Oh god, if that's all you're playing with this card, who cares?
Okay, fine. You want something? Here, I'll give you another Timmy card.
I feel like I'm controlled. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Does that even win in episode 1? I don't remember.
Fucking
the Tormentor level. God. It's
10. I'll say,
dude, it's a young man's game. All right, I can't be bothered to put that together. A Divine Beast effect. Attack is 4,000. Defense is 4,000. Requires 3 tributes. Holy crap. So that would be like 3,000 life with the card. This card's normal summon cannot be negated. Okay. Cards and effects cannot be activated. Neither player can target this card with card effects once per turn during the end phase. If this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard. You contribute 2 monsters. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This card cannot declare an attack the turn its effect is activated.
You wanted the Timmy cards. I busted them out.
God! What the hell is all this? You know, at first I read this Mausoleum of the Emperor, alright? Okay. And I was sure it was busted. I was sure there was gonna be, like, just game over with this card. It's game over, man! And now you showed me the big Timmies, and I'm like, is that not bad? Is it that bad? There's gotta be... So this is gonna be a really hard card to rate. It reads as... It could both be busted depending on the cards that are available and like what you can do with them. If there are a bunch of cards that like you play it and it dies and you get this and that, because do I understand, like, you can play this, you you can pay the life points to get around the tribute, but then you can still use the thing you paid as a tribute.
So if there's like some sort of effect that allowed you to, but this would count as your normal
summon. But yeah. So you need a special summon? Oh, okay. Maybe not so much, because I was thinking you play something,
I see what you're saying.
When it dies you get a thing, and then it bring out something even bigger without paying the life, and yeah, it seems like a lot of combo potential. Now I'm a lot fuzzier on how busted this is, and giving it to the opponent could definitely be a dramatic downside. Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't tell how fast the game is, but the idea that you don't get to attack on turn 1, so if you place this on turn 1, you might just put yourself in a bad position, the opponent would, and they could just kill you. On the other hand, maybe just never place this on turn 1 if you go first. Maybe you just always, like, wait for a certain setup to place this and then go absolutely bonkers. The card has the makings of mana cheating, of spell cheating in a world where everything's free. There are very few costs in Yu-Gi-Oh! The ones there are, this says cheat those. Assume it's bad without a lot more context. If you show me 1,000 cards that with this aren't that great, I would have to be like, okay, now I get why it's not that good. But without the context, I have to assume this card is playable. I have no idea, honestly, if it was banned. I really don't. I'll err on the side of no, so you can laugh at me and put me in the thumbnail looking shocked Pikachu face. But
I mean, I was doing that anyway.
So let's say this card is good, not banned.
You're correct. I'll give it to you. So it's not banned.
Okay.
I wouldn't say this card is bad. So I obviously showed you the Timmy cards to summon off of this. Other cards that I'm not going to show you, because I might show them to you in future videos, that comboed with this card to cheat them out are much better payoffs for this type of cheating effect that make this card worth playing. But everything you said about the card is pretty on point. It's not good that your opponent also gets to do it, which may or may not matter depending on what they're playing. It's something you could possibly get the effect of and then remove it from the field. If you play a field spell over while you have an active field spell, it actually just destroys it. That's something that's unique about field spells.
Okay.
So that's another mechanic there. For the most part, it's a very specific card that goes in a specific deck, and that's really all it is. I wouldn't say it's bad. I think it's just very specific to what your deck is trying to do. If that makes sense. Yep. I think it's a fine card. It's okay.
Yes. Good.
Good. Yeah. Two left, and then we've covered every basic card type in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're almost there. So similar to continuous spells, there are also continuous traps. So these still have to be set the turn that you play them face down, and then after which, during your opponent's turn or during your own turn, you can flip this up at any point, and it stays active on the field. So give this one a read.
Robin Goblin. This is a trap card, a continuous trap card. You said. This is how it's called. Okay. It's a limited edition.
Well, this version.
They don't make limited edition of bad cards, I'm sure. They would never. Each time a monster you control inflicts battle damage to your opponent discards one random card, and this is free.
I didn't have a mod.
I know. It's free. We have to pay various forms of resources that we have to draw from our deck, or one into play at a time, or somehow come up with cards to cheat. You just like, put it on the back.
Yep, got you. Hey, you have to send for a turn first. You can't just activate it immediately.
With this, you can't.
Because it's a trap card. So trap cards, like I said, you have to play them face down for a turn. And then as soon as it's your opponent's turn, you can flip it up at any point after that.
This is busted. It's a stupid busted. So a trap card, like, they can't attack it. There might be cards that remove it, but generally speaking, you play a trap card, a face down card. The opponent
you can't attack it. Like destroy it. Yeah, this is like I said, this is similar to like an enchantment in Magic.
All right.
Like you play it at instant speed and it just stays on the field until something interacts with it in some way.
It does nothing the turn you're on. Like the turn you draw this. I like to look at these things like if I have this in my opening hand or I draw into it on turns 1 or 2, right? If I have it early, it does nothing that turn. But the next turn, your monsters can attack the turn you summon them. And you get one of those for free, and then there are other special summons and other things that you can do, including stealing your opponent's stuff, apparently. It is basically like a turn 2 game over if you hit your opponent with 2 or 3 monsters and they have to discard 2 or 3 cards at random. I can't imagine a card game, resource-based card game, where that's not absolutely devastating.
Now let me help you out here. Battle damage, even you take damage to your life points, which is battle damage, if one of your monsters gets destroyed by the opponents. It doesn't have to be a face hit direct.
Yeah, what? One of your monsters
So
gets
if I take my 1800 attack bludgeon and I attack your attack position,
Yeah,
which is the
yeah.
black force,
Everything-
while I have Robin Goblin up, yes, well, if it's in attack position. But yes, so that 700 damage will come out of your life points, which is battle damage, which does trigger Robin Goblin. So I don't have to attack you in the
You
face.
can be removing their stuff and hitting their hand and hitting their life total. This card's busted. This card's stupid. What are we doing here? Yeah, it's not turn 1 kill, but it's turn 2, like the game's effectively over. You discard 2 or 3 cards at random. Okay, it's my turn. I'll draw this card. Well, I'm like half the resources you do. Now that pot of greed is illegal, how do I put a card? I don't. This card is busted. This card got banned. Banned card.
Final answer.
Final answer.
You ready for me to blow your mind?
Always.
This card is bad. This card has never been banned, never been limited. In early Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe this card saw some play. That is it. Like, and not even like competitive play. Like, this is like a playground card at most. This card is not. I wouldn't say it's like the worst card in Yu-Gi-Oh. I would say it's like at best an average card. But this card was not the best thing you could be doing by a long shot. If that can just blow your mind. If that can blow your mind. So I think the reason for that is that the individual power of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so high that a card like this, that as a flip it, do nothing type of card, is just not good enough to play in, especially by modern standards. This card by modern standards is actually just unplayable. The only time you were playing this is like in the early days, and even then, it still wasn't even played that much, because it's just not that good of a card. There were going to be times that someone plays this card and they just get hand looped and just can't play the game. I'm not denying it, but that is by far and away the way that people play this game.
The pot of greed thing is that like getting a 2-for-1 is really hard, and this card is like just like it feels like even if the cards are really good, negating those cards is really good. Like taking those cards away is really good.
I think part of the reason is that there is a good amount of strong removal in early Yu-Gi-Oh, both for monsters as well as spell and trap cards, and so I think that hindered how good this card potentially could be. Again, because you do have to actually hit with something for it to go through, or, you know, if there's some, like, weird combat stuff that happens. Again, I'm not saying it was impossible. If I showed you, like, the best 20 to 30 cards, which you've seen some of them already, in old Yu-Gi-Oh, and you kind of saw the caliber of what Robin Goblin has to, like, stand up to, it's not even close. It's night and day. Which is crazy, because you would think this card's nuts. You would think this card's...
What a boring name for a guild. The hell? Atrian Knights. That one's a little better. Also, holy shit, why can't I name my guild this long?
Welcome to the Rooster Inn. Your mission's going well, I hope? Very well. A quick rest, right? Of course. Well, be careful out there.
Nothing to it. Perhaps you might. You'll do it, right? That's what I thought. Wanna equip it? Wanna equip it? Synthesizing today, eh? Is there any... Right, your items. Just leave it there. Guess I'm on the job.
Hello? What you got for me? Thanks. I got some new goods. Thanks for the business. Hey there. How goes the job? Hey, thanks. Well,
Hell yeah.
which one are you interested in? Ah, that one. Want to ask around? Now, what'll it be? I'm counting on you.
Ah, it's you. So it goes. Keep it quick. What were you thinking? Who should I bring out? See you around.
Welcome to the Rooster Inn. Sign in over here, please. Come back here whenever you're tired.
Crazy.
Wow.
There's
This
also
seems like
we haven't
seems like such a nightmare.
we haven't shown you. There are also plenty of cards that revive stuff from the graveyard as well, and so that sometimes was a detriment playing Robin Goblin because it's like, oh, you got their Jinzo into the graveyard, and now you can resurrect your Jinzo, and now like you're just like gonna get the game completely turned on you. So like there's instances where that can happen as well.
You know what I think? You know what my honest opinion? You guys just haven't figured out the game yet.
You might be right. I think maybe as children we just didn't realize how good this card truly was.
Yep, and you still don't know. Someday you'll actually bust your game.
Final cards.
I'm
Final card, and you'll be happy to
an
know.
idiot
I can't believe I'm gonna say this.
for thinking
this
I
card
could stand a chance.
has a cost. You're not gonna believe it.
Okay. Pick myself up, dust myself off. Solemn Judgment is a trap card. Have I seen that arrow before?
You haven't. I'll get into it after you.
Okay. When a monster would be summoned or a spell trap card is activated, pay half your life points, negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card.
So what that symbol is, in the top right, that is called the counter trap symbol. Trap cards are already kind of like counters in a way in Yu-Gi-Oh, but the counter trap symbol the counter trap symbol means that in terms of when cards can be activated, whether it's like in sorcery speed, instant speed, things like that, a counter trap is a speed higher than
I got all the materials, but I didn't get the Kalina I was looking for.
This means that once Solemn Judgment is activated, the only card that can be activated after it in a chain, your equivalent of the stack, the only card that can be activated after it is another counter trap. No other normal traps or instant speed effects can be used after Solemn Judgment.
No problem. We in Magic we have Split Second, which is close to that, but Interrupt is a very, very
Hello?
old Magic word that they stopped making, but the idea was the same.
There's a cost! There's a cost! You should be happy!
I'm a blue
Trade-off!
I am a blue mage, and I love countering things so much. When a monster will be summoned or a trap card is activated, pay half your life points and negate the summon or activation, and if you do, destroy that card.
The wording might be
you.
a little bit suspicious
made
to
a
you, so let me
wise
clarify
choice.
one interesting thing that might help you
There you
evaluate this
are.
card. It says when a
Is
monster
there
would
anything
be
else?
summoned.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
not
on
sure
the
how this works in
job.
Magic, but in Yu-Gi-Oh, before a monster officially hits the
Hello?
field, there's like a window to counter the summon,
Yeah.
where it's sort of like in Purgatory, where it never actually touches the field. So for instance, if you were to go sacrifice a monster to summon Jinzo, Jinzo says it negates all
What the
traps.
hell?
while
This
it
shit
activates.
makes no sense.
Solemn Judgment can be used to counter the summon of Jinzo because it's countering the summon and it hasn't touched the field, so it's not currently negating the effects of trap cards yet, if that makes sense.
Okay, I think. Alright. I mean, it sounds to me like you basically counter a monster spell, or when the trap card is being flipped, you counter the effect that it would have, and then destroy the trap card. That's what I'm getting here. That's what I'm getting here.
That's what the card says.
Do you play this face down, or do you just play this at any time from your hand?
So you have to play it face down
Okay.
for the turn you first play it, and then at any point after your turn ends, during your turn or your opponent's, like any trap card, you can activate this in response to something happening that meets this condition.
Seems like the kind of... It's the counterplay that I guess you want to exist because there's a cost, and it's a pretty steep cost. I don't know if there are a lot of other cards in the game that just, you know, you do this thing, you shut that down, you know? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like there are various ways to, like, punish various types of effects, like the trap card that you showed me earlier. But just, okay, you do this thing, I stop that thing. Right, so if the opponents are chaining off, if they're comboing, if they're just trying to take big, powerful actions,
Welcome to the Rooster Inn.
and you negate the biggest, most powerful
Very well,
action,
then allow me to
or
show
if
you
their
to your
trap
room.
card was designed to stop your powerful action, this protects it, you get it through, and you
Sign
win
in
the
over here,
game.
please.
I feel like I still need to understand, like, how a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Normally ends. Is it, like, and if it is just creatures attacking you down and your life total is a serious resource, and I'm not asking you to answer this, by the way, I'm just talking out loud. If your life total, if being attacked down is a normal way that a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ends, your life total is a very serious resource, and you have to be careful with it. That said, the lower your life total gets, you get into, like, the stages of the game where you're both going for the win. Half your life isn't as much as it is earlier in the game, which is probably when you want to use this. Like, I think a bad player uses this on the first possible thing they see, and a good player uses this at the last possible moment. And those kind of things make for good card games. And then there's the other side of it, where it's like, if a common game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ends with some kind of a combo being achieved that doesn't involve a lot of attacking and using life total, this card is even better, because that means all the actions on the stack, and this is a card that gets on the stack and does things that help you win the game. So my take on this card is that it's very good.
Okay.
The only way it's not is if a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Usually goes in such a way that the life total is under so much pressure that there's never a time to cast this. But I don't see it. I still think that, like, you play this very late in the game and it's only costing you, like, a few hundred health points instead of thousands, and it's a good card. And it's probably the kind of counterplay that a card game needs to have longevity, and which Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently has, 25 years, right? So, I mean, without full context of a game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, having ever watched or played a whole game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, this card strikes me as a good card, but not something that would need to be banned. It feels like an important part of the game. For free, yes. That's the...
Instant speed.
Yes.
Instant speed, pay half your life, negate, basically. It.
Yes. 100%.
Okay. I'm just curious.
100% play this in Magic.
Would that be banned?
At some point, yes.
Okay. I'm just curious. So, ready for me to blow your mind?
Always.
Solemn Judgment, at the current moment, Solemn Judgment is playable in 3 copies.
Yep, okay. I accept.
But
Nobody plays it?
in early Yu-Gi-Oh, Solemn Judgment was an incredibly strong card for all the reasons that you mentioned. You hit the nail right on the head.
Unfortunately,
I don't really have to
people
say
were
anything else 'cause you
stupid
put it so eloquently.
in the early
It's
days.
It's your oh shit button. It's your answer to either get out of a situation where you might lose the game, or it's a way to close out the game where you're going to win. And it's been incredibly powerful. By modern standards, it's still a good card. It still sees play, but it is not good enough that it warrants needing to be banned or even...
Welcome to the Rooster Inn. Sign in over here, please.